What's going on YouTube? Gator coming back at you with a fresh new episode of 413 Outdoors. No, it's been a little while. I just been super busy and haven't had any time at all to devote to the channel, but don't worry, I'm not dead. So I put a poll out and people wanted to see fly tying stuff, and I think there was a couple votes for ice fishing stuff too, so I'm gonna kind of meld those into another ice fly video. The fly we're going to be making today is a little Scud type jig, so I'm going to quit my yapping. Let's jump into what you're going to need to tie this bad boy. Alright, so what you're going to need to tie this fly is some black tying thread. I'm using 8/0 here. Going to need some olive marabou, some olive hare's ear dubbing. I'm using a size 14 jig hook. You're going to need some black dumbbell eyes. Not too complicated of a pattern. Let's jump down into the vice view and get cranking. Alright, so I'm going to start off here. Just going to start my thread. If you want to learn how to do this, I actually have a video in my Fly Tying for Beginners series on how to start thread. Real simple. Then I'm going to bring my thread up to the front here, right at the base of this bend here. And this is where I'm going to tie in my dumbbell eyes. Now these are a little bit oversized for what we're doing here, but it is an ice fly, so it does need to be heavy to get down quick. So that's what the finished fly is going to look like. Just gonna wrap this on here in what's the word I'm looking for here? X pattern. That's the word. That's the letter. Can you tell I'm a little bit burned out from school and all that? I do words good. Then I'm going to bring my thread back here to the back of my hook. I'm going to take some of these marabou fibers, strip them off the quill. I think I've got about 4 or 5 here. I'm going to measure those in. Got a stray one floating around. Maybe a little bit shorter than that. Yep, right about there. Trim my excess off. I'm going to wrap this up the body here. Making sure to try and get that somewhat smooth. And as you can see, that forms the tail of our little jig fly, whatever you want to call it, really. Got a couple of stray fibers in here. Just gonna give them a quick little snip. And there we are. Alright. So now I'm going to get some of this dubbing here. This is my olive hare's ear. I'm just going to dub myself a little body. Now the way that a scud is shaped, and bear in mind that this is not a direct scud resemblance. Ice flies don't have to be 100% perfect because you're usually fishing for panfish and perch. They're not super picky. As long as you get the overall shape and color correct, they'll usually work. And the way scud are shaped is they have a slight taper to the back, and then they get wide, and then they taper down again. So that's what I'm going to try and emulate with my dubbing here. Start off way in the back here, right at the base of that tail. Starting off thin, working my way up. Then when I get to the eyes here, I'm going to pass under the eye. Then I'm going to come back around to the front. Oh, my dubbing came apart. Like this here. There we go. You can see it's all dubbed on the bottom there with nothing on the eyes. Now that's alright. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Then I'm going to bring my thread across the bottom like that and up to the eye of my hook. I'm going to make a few wraps there. I'm going to make a half hitch just to hold my thread. And that's pretty much, ooh, my camera moved on me. Sorry about that. There we are. So that's pretty much all that there is to this guy. Straighten that out a little bit. It's not at all complicated. I'm just going to take my whip finisher here and finish the fly off while I'm talking. Not at all complicated, but that marabou tail there gives it incredible action in the water. Even if you're dead sticking this fly on a jig rod, any kind of water current or anything is going to make that little marabou tail jiggle and flutter. They absolutely love this, man. It's not very pretty, but hey, doesn't have to be pretty as long as it works. Alright, I've got my whip finish there, break my thread off, and that's all she wrote. Now obviously if you want to, you can use a little bit smaller eye. This is all I have, and it being an ice fly, you want it to sink quickly, so the bigger eye is not exactly a detriment. This would also work well as maybe a very small dragonfly larva. But all in all, it's just a fly that works, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today. Like I said, super easy tie. Nothing really out of the blue with it, but hey, it works. That's all that really matters. So if you enjoyed this video, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe, help us grow. And if you have any ideas for future videos, don't be scared to drop me a comment down below. And on that note, I just have to say that my name's Gator, and I'll see you later. Goodbye and God bless.